There is a company that does tabletop games called Stone Mayer Games. Are you familiar with this company at all?
No, not at all.
Well, they are really upset, and they so much so that they are suing the president. So they are suing the president
of the United States. Okay.
Of the United States, as we are joining a lawsuit to challenge the president's unchecked authority to impose tariffs. We will not stand idly while our livelihoods and the livelihoods of thousands of other small business owners and contractors in the U.S., along with the customers whose pursuit of happiness we hold dear, are treated like pawns in a political game. Like many tabletop publishers, we started print runs on products before the president took office. Now we face an unprecedented $14.50 tariff tax for every $10 we spent on manufacturing with our trusted long-term partner in China. So anyways, yeah, they're suing them over the tariffs. Would love to hear your thoughts on just this whole idea.
Well, good luck with that. Welcome to the world of international trade and politics. Like, did you think doing manufacturing or dealing with communist China was just going to be a straight shot with no interference? I mean, somebody should have sort of factored in the risks of dealing with communist China. You're going to get mixed up in global politics. It's just silly that you're taking this as it's a shock to the business people. Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. I as a actual ideological conservative, I used to be very much anti-tariff. If you read Milton Friedman's Free to Choose or any of Milton Friedman's stuff, there's a conservative argument against tariffs. I think that's changed, especially I started seeing it during the COVID period. Now, Donald Trump has been preaching this since he was as young as Craig, and maybe even younger. So it's a long time that this is a Donald Trump thing. Nobody should be surprised by Donald Trump believing this is the way to go. But during COVID, we couldn't get pharmaceuticals because they're all being manufactured in China. And I'm like, wait, when do we depend on normal, prescription medicines and over-the-counter drugs, and we're dependent on communist China to provide this stuff for us? Like, how did we get into that position? It's just, it was a slow erosion where we allowed that to happen. And I think Donald Trump is doing the right thing. And people should just relax a little bit. Now, it might cause some pain. There might be some rejiggering. I think it's the right thing to bring a lot of manufacturing back over time to the United States. We've stopped being a manufacturing country, and now we're just a consumer country, and that doesn't bode well for the future. So I think changing that is a good thing. Yeah, it's disruptive. Donald Trump and his people, they are not traditional ideological conservatives. They're populists. They're interested in doing radical change in a short amount of time, which is super interesting, and has sort of changed my mind about politics and how to do things and get things done. So it shouldn't be surprising to anybody. And of course, it's also ridiculous to think that the president of the United States, the executive branch, which is one of the three branches and is extremely powerful, that it can't wield some power. So this is one of the things the president can do. So suing the president over this is a lost cause. There you go.
No, I appreciate your perspective on that. And as pointed out, Marius says, great plan. They have obviously never heard of presidential immunity.
Right.
Yeah. It's amazing to see. I mean, look, you work with China, and I think this is something that's naturally, you should expect these things, or at least.
And there's going to be negotiations. That's right. The other thing. Let's just wait and see how it all falls out. It's going to take a while.
How long do you think that? Let's just, this is a tabletop game manufacturer. They use China for their products, or whatever. Let's just say somebody wanted to get some sort of manufacturing for tabletop pieces up and rolling in the United States. Is that 6 months, 2 years? Realistically, the idea of moving this stuff over to the United States, it sounds really good in theory, but it will take a lot of capital and startup to get that going.
Well, I mean, it just doesn't sound to me like if you're making tabletop, board games, what are you talking? Like cardboard and printing? So if suddenly it looks like if you stayed with China, it's going to cost you $15 a pop more, I bet you there's some local cardboard printing people here in the United States that could use the gig for half that, right? I mean, I have a feeling you can figure out a way to find a new vendor and make a new deal. Maybe you got to postpone a few things. I don't know. I'm being simplistic about it, but I mean, come on. It's like the whole deal with a tariff is that the incentive will then be on the manufacturers of the United States to gear up and beat the price that would be coming from whatever international country it is, And you think about it, if you're getting, slave labor in China, and that's why you get your stuff manufactured so cheap, so that it can come all the way over on some giant cargo ship, and shipping costs are still less than it is to manufacture in the United States. I have a feeling it won't be. We're not talking about making, tractors or something, or like giant machine tools that take forever to design, and it's a factory in China. That's a different thing. That could be a problem, but come on, board games,
right?
Yeah, I'm crying. Sorry, pals.
Well, there's a lot of
I wonder how that's going to be. I might have to change my bedside manner for Congress. I might be too blunt.
Well,
I like it though. It's refreshing.
It's refreshing and honest. Yes, that's good. That's what people want.
And by the way, think about it. If somehow I do get elected to Congress, you could have a podcast with a congressman on. Huh?
Right. Let's go. People say we're a political podcast. Get the hell out of here.
Hey.
Let's go. Hey.